Hey everyone, I love it when I get a video topic that's generated by one of your requests, and I recently asked on Instagram, what kind of content would you like to see? And one of the first things I saw pop up was drugstore products that you like over high-end. And I thought, this is great. And I thought it was gonna be like a top 3 or a top 5, and I think I have more than 10. Now, before I get any further in this, everything here is actually found at Walmart, which works out really well because this video is actually sponsored by Walmart. So let's keep a running count, maybe over here somewhere, of how many products I really have that, let's be clear, I love my high-end makeup. I'm never gonna stop using high-end makeup. There are a lot of high-end makeup products that I love and prefer. However, there are quite a few drugstore products that I like as much, if not better, than the high-end counterpart, or I reach for just as often, so it's kind of a wash. So let's get started from the very base and we'll move our way up the face. So speaking of base, I'm wearing this today, this primer, and I actually did a video where I compared this primer from Hard Candy with its high-end counterpart, and I ended up liking this one better. This is the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Hydrating Primer 12-Hour Makeup Grip. And no primer, no foundation is going to be mask proof unless you're shellacking your face. It's just not gonna happen. However, this certainly helps. That and some good setting powder. This is better than the high-end version, far less expensive, and this is product number 1 that I reach for or prefer over high-end products. I'm going to cheat and say that product number 2 are actually 2 products, but I'm going to count them as 1 because they're the same thing, and that is foundation. There are 2 foundations that I use as much, sometimes more, than the high-end counterpart. The first is this one, which should be no surprise. It's the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation. I wear it in the shade Rose Ivory 15. And I mixed it today with my other favorite, which requires some explanation. My other favorite drugstore foundation is this guy, the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation. Now, I know some of you are gonna say, wait a minute, that was discontinued. Well, it very well may be because I cannot find it anywhere else on the planet. However, it is pretty much fully stocked in most of the shade range at Walmart, both in-store and online. Now, the thing that makes me crazy is that I actually decluttered all my Physicians Formula foundations. I had a whole shade range depending on where I was in my self-tanning continuum. And I decluttered all of them because I thought they're discontinued. It wouldn't be fair to use makeup on camera that you can't go ahead and purchase if you like it. So I got rid of it. But when I was recently at Walmart just doing my weekly grocery shopping, I hopped over to the beauty department and I saw this is still there in all of its shades. So I went and bought a new bottle. This is the shade FN3, which I think is a newer shade, and it matches my winter skin perfectly. I mean, it disappears into my skin tone. I have a little more color, so today I actually mixed the 2, and it's the perfect match. So if you fell in love with the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation and thought it's gone, it is not gone. It is alive and well at Walmart. Normally, my powder is the next step after I do my liquid products. This is a powder I save for the very end, but I'm gonna put it here because otherwise I'll forget in the order of how I do things. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. I have it in the shade 001 Transparent. And even though I have dry skin, I can still get shiny, especially as things start warming up. And I haven't found a better powder to take down the shine and keep your face matte than this basic one from Rimmel. Now, I don't love the packaging. There's nothing keeping the top on. I wish it were just a traditional compact so it would be a little more secure, but it is worth overlooking the annoying packaging because of the product inside. This I put on at the very end. I put this after I've done my setting spray. We'll talk about that in a moment. And then I usually just powder the T-zone and a little bit either side of my nose. Good to go. That's what I'm wearing today. Let's talk bronzer. So there are 2 drugstore bronzers that I absolutely prefer over high-end makeup. One much more than the other, but I love them both. And the winner for sure, I've been using this for a long time. I've gone through 2 or 3 of these and there's a lot of product in here, is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronzer. I have it in the shade 001 Light. I also have a backup of the deeper shade for when I start fake tanning. This is a glorious, beautiful, wonderful satin finish bronzer. There's no glitter in it, but it does, and I'm wearing it today with another one we're gonna talk about in a minute. I like using this by itself. I also like using this if I've been doing a lot of contour or I did another bronzer that's a little bit too deep. Take a fluffy brush, dip it in there, and kind of use it to blend the shades together, and it softens it. You can almost use this all over your face if you wanted to, especially the light shade. It's an incredible bronzer. Not enough people are talking about it. The other bronzer that I have purchased over and over, although I still have it in the old packaging, is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, just the bronzer shade. And as you can see, mine is well loved. So today I did a combination of this one and the L'Oreal one, but there are two newer to me bronzers that I like just as much as these two that I wanted to tell you about. And I've been wearing them for the last, I'd say 2 weeks, and I'm really enjoying them. Strangely enough, one's from L'Oreal, one's from Physicians Formula. So this is the L'Oreal Bronze Please. So it's a little bit deeper. It has a little more of the red undertones than the original L'Oreal that I love so much. And I would say that this one is better moving into the summer months if you really want to simulate a fake tan. This is gonna be more authentic. This is a great bronzer because it's more cool toned. It just sort of adds a general warmth to the face. It might not be as focused a color, and you could probably even use this for contouring if you wanted, where this is more of a true bronzer because of the warm undertones. The other one that I am really enjoying, I mentioned that I'm not liking that I'm starting to get shiny. Well, Physicians Formula recently released the Matte Manoi Butter Bronzer. So this is the butter bronzer, but in a matte formula. I would say that the original, it's not like it's radiant, but I'd say it's more of a satin. And again, you can kind of see, so the original is a little more cooler toned. The matte has some more warm undertones. They smell the same though, that beautiful, I don't know, it's almost like a suntan lotion scent. So if you are looking for a great bronzer, the drugstore aisle will have you covered. Now this one product is 3 products in one, but I'm only gonna count it as one, and it is from Flower Beauty, and it is a bronzer, blush, and highlight, and I like all of them. The highlight's a little icy for me, but the blush and this bronzer are incredible, and today I'm wearing the blush. It's just the perfect pink flush of color on the cheeks, and it's just a smooth, soft, creamy, beautiful blush. Had to mention it. It's such a great palette. It comes in 2 options, a lighter shade. I have the light to medium, and then there's a medium to deep as well. Absolutely love it. And then to apply it, the blush brush I use above all the blush brushes that I have in my collection, and I'm always collecting a new one, and none compare to this guy. This is the Flower Beauty Precision Blush Brush. I loved it so much I bought it twice. It's just the perfect blush brush. For those of you who don't have as much real estate in the cheek department, I have a tiny head, and a traditional blush brush is just too big. I end up getting blush over my entire side of my face. So this, as the name implies, is precision, so you get it right where you want it. It comes a little bit to a point, so you really can get it focused, but it's still fluffy, so you can diffuse the color. It's not gonna deposit it on your cheeks in too much of a dense, concentrated area. It'll get it where it wants it, and then it's easily diffused across your cheek. And then if you have 2, you could, do it at the same time. The highlighter that I wear more often than not most days is one of these. These are the Maybelline Master Chrome Metallic Highlighters. The one that I reach for 8 out of 10 times is the Rose Gold shade. That's what I'm wearing today. And I know it looks pink, or coppery even, but when swatched on the fingers, it's basically skin tone. It's beautiful, it blends in really well. This is as creamy, soft, and pigmented, it's right there, as any high-end highlighter. And what I really love about it is that there are multiple shades. So you will find the exact shade that you want for the look you're going for your skin tone. It's such a great product, and drugstore price makes it even better. Okay, I'm getting warm, so I'm taking this off. I'm getting serious. I think this should come as no surprise if you've seen a handful of my Get Ready With Me videos. This is the best brow mascara specifically for blondes. It is the NYX Brow Mascara in the shade Blonde. I am not a natural blonde. I did just get my hair done earlier today, so I'm more blonde than most days. But for me, it's not that I need to darken my brows so much as I need to get them to match more closely to this hair. And this brow mascara puts my hair in place, but it also kind of tints my brows, not permanently, just as long as it's on, to kind of soften the look of them, especially if I've gone too harsh with the actual pencil. I can just put this on top, blends in, makes my brows look a little more ashy toned. It's just perfect. I honestly think this would work well on just about any color of brow. If you're trying to get it a little more ashy, less warm, this would be a good way to do it. Check this one out. Okay, let's move on to eyeshadow. And this one is tough, not because it's hard to find a palette, but because I have so many drugstore palettes that I prefer over high-end that we could make a whole video just on those. But I'm going to share two brands. So the first brand is what I have on my eyes today, and it's from Profusion, and it's my most recent purchase from the Profusion line, and it's the Minimalist palette. Look at the metallic of these. It's incredible. In fact, let me insert a photo that I took, or some video footage, I guess. It was from my Instagram stories earlier today when I was getting my hair done. It really, the lighting and the angle really makes my eyeshadow pop. I mean, if you told me that this was from Walmart without me knowing it was from Walmart, I would not believe you. These colors are so beautiful, and this palette is amazing because you get your neutrals, you get some pops of color in there. I clearly went with mostly shades towards this side of the palette, but to deepen the outer corner, I actually went with this brownie plummy shade. It's a beautiful shade. This palette, every time I use it, I find another shade that I like even more. I do really, really love their smaller 10-pan palettes. And if I had to only use two, I would say the Bare one is just stunning if you like neutrals, a little bit warm side, but not overly warm where it's like orange or pink. But my heart belongs to the Smoky palette, and pretty much every time I travel, this one comes with me. These two are a lot more travel friendly or on the go, or if you are restricted by space. Obviously these 10 pans are fabulous, but if you can swing the space, this Minimalist palette basically has everything you need for every eye look you could possibly imagine. Now the other palette that I want to talk about, the other brand, is pretty much, again, discontinued everywhere, but you can still find it online at Walmart. I haven't seen it in store in a very long time. And it's the Milani palettes, the ones in these gold squares that are just the best palettes. Why, Milani, why? These go in and out of stock on the website, but go check them out. I'll link them below. It would be hard to pick a favorite, but Bold Obsessions is just such a beautiful palette, and it's so versatile, and I've used every shade in the palette. And then the other one I'd say is even more user-friendly would have to be Soft and Sultry. Now this one runs a little more cool or neutral toned, but again, I love every single one of them, and it just makes me so sad that they're pretty much gone, but Walmart still has them, so definitely go check them out. If you still never got your hands on one, I think it might be one of your last chances to take advantage of their availability at Walmart. All right, let's finish off the eyes with mascara and mascara primer. So technically those are two separate products. So let's start with primer. Now I'm not gonna say that I use this more than my high end, but I would have to say I use it as much, and that is the L'Oreal Voluminous Primer, Lash Paradise Primer. I will say, since I've been using this a little more often leading up to this video, just to make sure I was up to date on how I felt about this, comparing this to my high-end lash primer, now this is a newer tube. Hello, Rowdy. So it's a little more, it's a wetter formula. This grips a little better. This brush grips a little bit better than my high-end version. So now I'm on the fence of whether I like this the same or even maybe a little bit more. I'd say they work the same. So when you factor in cost, I guess I just decided that I like this one a little bit better than the high-end one. And then to go with it, there's so many L'Oreal mascaras that I absolutely adore, but it's kind of tied between the Lash Paradise from L'Oreal and this one. This is my newest favorite, and this is the L'Oreal Air Volume. It's what I have on today. It's just such a great mascara. It's light on the lashes. Your lashes don't feel crunchy. I feel they add a ton of length. It separates, it gives volume and length. It's great. There's a waterproof version. I never get the waterproof because it's so hard to get off, but this is, I have to say mine is, I think it's Blackest Black. That's generally the shade I go for in a mascara. Now, before we move on to lips, I have to set everything, and this is a more recent discovery, but it is one that I'm really enjoying, so I'm including it. It's the Marnie Make It Last Setting Spray, but it's not their original one that everyone raves about. It's the matte one, and I'm wearing it today. And like I said, I just got my hair done, so that meant washing my, they wash my hair. They always end up getting your face wet. It just happens. And I noticed that my foundation, or foundations, since I'm wearing two technically, did not rub off. It did not wash off. I had a little wear right around where the mask was, but I just powdered. So, I mean, this stuff, I'm not suggesting that it feels like shellacking your face. In fact, I don't feel like I have anything on, but it seems to work pretty well in keeping my makeup on, and I'm not shiny. Let's move on to lips. So first, let's start with liquid lipstick. I have not really been a fan of traditional liquid lipsticks because I've always said it feels like dried cling wrap just stuck to your lips. It's horrible. There are a couple high-end ones that I really enjoy. They are discontinuing them. It seems like I have a knack for picking out stuff that is going to be discontinued. I recently discovered the Revlon Color Stay Satin Inks. I've talked about these a lot in the last couple of months. These are fabulous. They feel like lipstick, like creamy from a bullet lipstick. They don't get sticky or tacky. You don't feel like you need to put gloss on top of them, and they last through multiple meals. It is incredible. My favorite of all the shades I have is probably this one called Your Majesty, which is a really nice neutral pink, but it's not a pale pink, so it's gonna stick on and show up, and it's a beautiful, really flattering shade. But another liquid lipstick that I do enjoy, just not as much, I am wearing it today, so I'm just gonna give it a shout out, is also from Revlon, and it is their Color Stay Ultimate Liquid Lipstick, and I'm actually wearing it in the shade Iconic. Now this one is more of that dried down feeling. It doesn't feel dry, but it stays feeling kind of weird and tacky, like you need to put gloss over it. We'll touch on gloss in just a moment. The other liquid lipstick that I actually like as much as the Revlon, but doesn't honestly have the same staying power as the Revlon, so it's gonna be in second place, are these from L'Oreal. The pink is the shade Be Captivating, and the more neutral is called Be Determined. I'll put down in the description box what these are actually called because there is no name on these. This lip gloss, hands down, my favorite lip gloss across all categories, high-end or drugstore, is the Maybelline Hyaluronic Lifter Lip Gloss. Today, I'm wearing it in the shade Moon. I'd say my all-time favorite shade, if I had to wear it alone, is Petal. Absolute favorite. I think there are 9 or 10 shades to choose from. Fantastic, outstanding lip gloss. I don't think there's a better lip gloss out there. So that is the end of my list of drugstore products that I like as much as or more than their high-end makeup counterparts. I would love to hear from you. Are there products that you love from the drugstore that did not make my list? Send me your recommendations. I always love learning about great makeup products. I don't care where they're from. I'm not a makeup snob, but I've got to tell you, the selection at Walmart cannot be beat. And I don't know if y'all knew this, but if you do prefer high-end makeup, Walmart carries that too. They have a luxury makeup line on their website, not in store, and oftentimes makeup that is sold out in other places is still available at Walmart. So if you're a luxury makeup lover, don't rule out Walmart. They're a great source to find the stuff that you love. Thank you so much to Walmart for sponsoring this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I cannot wait to see what your drugstore favorites are down in the comments below. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.